So here we are playing Bullfield Goldfrog or Frog Gold or Bullfrog Gold Mine, Goldfield, and selected the positions. The first player was up here. He chose to go for the cheap money. $10,000 always has to be good. May not be worth as much as another action, but early positioning, money, you know, it seemed worth it. I would guess an action is becoming more and more valuable, though. He was actually debating mainly between the railroad commissioner, because he has some track delay, and this one, and didn't really think about the actions. And then immediately this guy said, I'm green. I've got some track delay with the green company that trained the Tonopah and Goldfield. It looks good to me. And then other players started picking the ones with the action, and that's when I began thinking, maybe those actions are actually better than they first looked. And that's why they go so late in the round, because later in the game they seem to be really, really valuable. So for example, and in comparison, the prospector gives you no bonus, but lets you go really early. Well, in comparison, the next guy took the building contractor. This is going to allow him to build another building. And he knows he wants another building, so it seems like a good deal. It doesn't put him that late in the round. Similarly, this guy, he's going to get a stock action. He knows he wants one, so he might as well take that. And then finally, the last guy said, you know, I'd rather have an action than go first. I just can't see, with nothing but mines, why I'd really want to go first. Now, there's a reason, to tell you the truth. If he's afraid that he'd be connected up all the way back to here, which would be possible if Black had the railroad commissioner, then he'd have a serious worry. But as it stands, he doesn't think anybody's going to hook him up, and he's got a building on his purple company, so he's in pretty comfortable shape there. So the prospector ends up being the one card not picked. And it's a valuable card. You do want to go early a lot of the times, and I can see where that advantage comes in. We certainly saw somebody got hosed not being able to buy a share that they wanted, but now there's less of the desire for companies. A couple of players, this guy and this guy, have to get their trains starting to make them some ground here. Otherwise, they may lose them as the price continues to drop. All right, well, let's start it off. I gave the $10,000 to the smelter owner, and he's going to go first. So let's start looking at what he can do. So the first couple players go, and you do see the value now of going early still. This guy reached his own mine, bonusing both of them and shooting him into a position, but he had to take out a big loan, $100,000, to build all that track. He's out of cash now, so his railway also is going to start, having to pay back those. He's going to have to pay interest, and he's not going to be able to pay out dividends. That did help mainly, though, his company, which is now precarious because it's only got one house. The railroad's going to have to build him another house here, or he's going to have to build another house on his own mine. It's better to build it over on the town, but only the railway can do that. That'll bonus both of them in either case. It'll also bonus, though, the purple player. And then the second player used his ability to stretch his way up and into here, which hosed the owner of that company. He was hoping to get another building built before he was forced into this position, but it didn't happen, and now he's been frozen here, and that's where I think the trick in this game is if you can prevent somebody. In this case, it would have been a $12 bonus, but he just couldn't go anywhere, and he took $12 away from the yellow railway. He also took money away for connecting to the town, I believe. That was what, another $6 that he gained and that the yellow company lost. I hope I got the numbers right. It's really hard you know, to keep track of all these things on little tracks for me. It's one of the problems I have with the Euro style games, is where things are moving around like that. I'm much more comfortable with other forms of notating stuff than just on a track with victory points that go up and down on lots of actions. That's going to be a mechanical issue with this game. There's no question. You have to pay attention to these charts, and I'm not sure I'm up to it in a solitaire game especially. But maybe, and I've been in games regularly where people are not going to pay attention to every little action, and things are going to get screwed up, and the points aren't going to be perfect. And there's no way in this, I think, to go back and correct yourself easily. So we saw with mine, I had to go back and look at the video to see where somebody was. I could do that here and see if it's right, but I'm okay. I'm not sure if I subtracted that extra 6 is what it comes down to. Green certainly got it. Another option would have been to go to the Bullfrog mines, but they have a building, so he wouldn't have hurt them at all, and he wouldn't have been able, he would have been stopped a few bucks short of where he could have gone because he didn't have enough buildings. Now he has enough buildings with 1, 2, 3, 4 connected, which gets him 1, 2, 3, 4 to break 100. That's not going to end the game because he's got these bonds on him if he does break the 100, or when he does break the 100. He's got to pay the bonds off, and at that point his stock, which is hugely overvalued or hugely valued, will probably win him the game. So we're seeing the railway definitely does a lot of good. Even if you don't buy the mines, you can invest in a railway and make a lot of money. All right, well, he's hosed over a couple of other players though, and now we're going to go over here and see what these later players are able to do. If they had been able to move first, they could have gotten a building or whatever. So moving from where we are, this guy bought himself another share of the Tonopah Mining Syndicate. He wanted another share of something. He could afford that barely. That was probably the highest price thing he could afford. He dumped some cash into it so that it can build another building here, which it's going to need when it expands in the near future, I believe. Like the gains it's going to get. In fact, if Black hooks it up this turn, it's not going to get the building before the guy who builds the rail to it gets it. But it gave him an extra certificate of that. Another option would have been to buy more of Manhattan Gold Mining Company, or to have just sprung out of hand and built this town, which may have been the best move, because that would have bonused both of these. Hard to tell. Now he's got 100% holding of the Tonopah though, so whatever it makes goes into his pocket, as long as it doesn't go bankrupt. As long as the mine doesn't wear out, he's okay. Now let's look at some of the others. Player 5 used his building contractor ability. Now he has Bullfrog Mines. He wanted to build this. Once he gets hooked up, that's going to be vital because he's getting close to that. But, you know, is somebody going to do that? Green refused to. It's got to be in someone's interest, but here's the problem. These railroads that are near here have to make their choices. Now, his own railroad, however, is moving up and is going to grab it, which is really where it comes to. That's why he had to do it. And that's what he did. He built track down here to Rhyolite in order to hook his own railway up. And he can connect to some of these others. He's got a couple of choices. This is the cheapest. It doesn't have as big a payoff as this. And other than that, that's all he has. He only has 2 tokens. So, yeah, no, he only has 2. So one's going to go here, one's going to go there. That's his only option. All right, good enough. And let's look. His stock price is going up a little bit. You know, payback's a bitch. He went into Green's town. He's going to be affecting both green and red when he goes in here. And he's going to be helping the blue mine, whatever that is. I think that's this one up here, the Rhyolite combined by that. Then we go over to the last player who wants to get his blue running. So he triggered off purchasing a stock, put some cash into it. That was a hard choice because the mines seem like better purchases, except for this. The mines can go bankrupt. Now it looks like the game's going to be over before mines start collapsing, I think. Which is why this was kind of questionable, but the extra cash in there, the incredible boost that a railroad can get in terms of stock value. Of course, it's got to pay off those bonds, and he's hoping to run it light enough that it can. He's going to be trying to help his own company here a little bit and hurt the black train as well. And also, he's got this company which just doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. I mean, its value is not increasing. He doesn't have a building on it. It's almost as though he's given up on it by not getting that initial bonus. So his big goal here right now is maybe to get another building on this one, so that he can, and he was kind of hoping that a building would show up here just magically, so that he can keep expanding his income. All right, but there's no reason for him to put a building here and help other people. He might as well just build it on his own center, if that's it. He also was hoping a building might show up here, but it didn't. So the fact that he built a building attracted a railway, though. Oh no, that's not him. Right? No, he's over here. God damn it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure. These colors are really fucking confusing me. Yeah, I don't know. He may have built... No. Okay, so why didn't he build here? He couldn't build here because he doesn't have a railway through there. So it would have meant increasing this. And still, though, he's hoping somebody would increase this. Hard calls here. I don't know why he's heading this way. He should be heading this way and helping his company. But he helps his railroad more if he hooks that up. He couldn't hook this one up this turn. So I guess that's where he was going. Anyway, he built the track, laid down his mice, and I guess we go into the second round here, and I'm telling you, the colors on these charters, especially of the mines, because the railroads have these nice chews on them, and they let you know who they are, and there's also less of them, but the mines, I'm having a real hard time keeping them apart, and I consider that a big detractor from the game, actually.